la la, la la. Then the faculty will stand off to the side. Student talks for 2 minutes, then a rose, then everybody goes down. Yes. How about now? Woo! Welcome everyone to the hooding ceremony of the degrees Masters in Organization Development and Leadership and the PhDs in Human Development and Organization Development and Change. My name is Patrice Rosenthal. I'm the program director for the PhD degrees, and it is my happy task to facilitate this wonderful ceremony. I'm going to explain what we're about in just a moment, but first, we want to clap. We haven't clapped. You're good clappers. We haven't clapped since before lunch. What I would love to do is ask all graduates to stand so we may collectively clap for them and our pride. Some of you might have been here yesterday when we had a very informal celebration in a room not far from here. And we asked friends and family to stand a couple of times, and we had a good time with that. I want to do that again, and I want to do it in a more solemn and serious and intentional way. Without you and your support, this would not have happened. What you have put up with, you deserve humongous applause, and we want to give them to you now. Friends and family, please stand. Thank you so much. You're probably more proud than we are, but I don't see how that's possible. Thank you for the support that you've given. We appreciate in Fielding, we appreciate it very, very much. The other thing we appreciate, the other group of wonderful people are the faculty of the Masters in ODL and the faculty of the PhDs in Human Development and Organization Development and Change. Please stand for your applause. And last but not least, I want to ask Catherine Moraga to stand. Catherine is the graduate advisor, and none of this would happen without Catherine. Don't worry, I'm not going to give a speech. I'm only going to frame what we're about to do. In Fielding, it is our tradition to convocate. So when folks graduate, we come together and do that in a formal ceremony with proper pomp and proper circumstance, and we do it all together, with all programs together. And it is also our beautiful tradition to complete that ceremony with the hooding of graduates, but to do that in more informal. Some of you who've come in have been seeing how we've been trying to get this together at the last minute. More informal and more intimate space, so program-related space, and that is what we are here to do now. Hooding is a profound and beautiful moment with a lot of history behind it, and it symbolizes the getting of a degree, but it also symbolizes becoming, which is what is happening here and has been happening in this room, and it's lovely. Here's how we will operate. Does everyone have a program? Did you continue to clutch your program? If you did, you might want to follow along. What we're going to do here for the hooding ceremony is faculty will come up to the podium. Faculty will call you up to the podium individually. These are the chairs and the faculty who worked most directly with the graduates today. So faculty will come up, call you forward. You will come up this side of the stairs because there aren't any stairs on the other side, so I will sit here to remind you of that. You will come up, you will be hooded by faculty. Faculty will introduce you very, very briefly. We have a lot of faculty, we have a lot of graduates here today, so you'll be introduced very briefly. And as planned, we want to hear from you, so sharing remarks, but only of 1 to 2 minutes. You will then receive a rose and go back down the way you came up. Go back to your seat to enjoy the rest of the ceremony. I am hoping, because we do have a lot of graduates, that you might help me out just a bit. So if you have your program, I'm hoping, are there any graduates in the room that don't have a program with you? We just supplied some. Anybody that doesn't have them? That's excellent. If you could just kind of keep an eye on where we are in the program, the list of graduates, what we'd love to ask you to do so the ceremony can move along at a beautiful and appropriate pace. If we can just have about 5 people kind of queued up a bit, just ready to come up. So when your name is called, you don't have to climb over your cousins and your sons to get up. So if you can just kind of keep an eye, and as you see 2 spaces just coming up, and we'll handle it that way. We are ready to begin the business of this part of the ceremony. We're going to start with the hooding of master's students, and I am going to ask Dr. Okakan Udo, who is the program director of the master's degree, to please come up, introduce himself.
Thanks, Patrice. Hello, everyone. Congratulations, graduates. Congratulations, parents, siblings, family, friends, colleagues who are here to honor your loved ones. My name is Okokon Udo. I'm the director of the master's program in organizational development and leadership. And I have the honor of having one of my associate faculty here, Michael Henny, who has been more present with the students. In our role, we manage other things and often do not get into the classrooms. So I am honored that Michael is here. So I'll be inviting Michael over to actually do the hooding of the graduates of our program. So Michael, why don't you join me here?
Thank you so much. So we are ready to begin. So the first 3 graduates who will be hooded are the master's graduates. If you would begin to make your way up. And remember, when you come up, just as you are doing, bring your hood. Yes.
I just want to say some brief words about this particular group of students. The ODL program invites an intimate cohort of individuals to join together, to learn together. Some cohorts approach it as just an exercise for learning, for knowledge gain, to advance their careers. And then other cohorts take all of that and make it about something much bigger, about deep growth, about even addressing some of the shadow elements and little demons, little doubts that all of us carry around, but using this program as an opportunity to face those and in many respects overcome those. This cohort did that. And I couldn't be prouder of them. You can see how emotional it is to be able to be in an accelerated process of deep personal growth, as well as gaining the knowledge. It's almost like that scene from the very end of The Wizard of Oz where the wizard gives them these little tokens, but at the same time acknowledges that you've had this all along. And they have. So Dana Campbell, please come up first. I have no idea how to do this. But you know what? We're going to make it work. I got it? There we go.
I'm working
My
out the
very
kinks for
first
everybody.
hooding. Yay! Tour de force right here. Tour de force.
All right, I'm working out the kinks so everybody else doesn't have to. All right. So I'll say a few brief words. Thank you, everyone. When I entered this program, I was looking for language and tools to describe something I'd felt for years. That change begins in relationship, in the questions we ask, the stories we carry, and the spaces we choose to build together. Dr. Bennett spoke today about nonconformity, and that resonated deeply with me, so much so that I changed my speech. So much of my journey as a first-generation American, the first in my family to earn both a bachelor's and now a master's degree, has been about stepping into spaces that weren't designed with me in mind and finding ways to make them home anyway. Choosing this path and choosing to lead in the way this program has taught us often means choosing not to conform, choosing instead to stay rooted in curiosity, compassion, and courage. This degree also comes after a season of real personal challenges, including navigating stretches of joblessness and uncertainty. And yet, even in those moments, this work, these ideas, these relationships, this belief in transformation kept me grounded. It reminded me that resilience is not an individual act, it's something built in community. And this moment is especially meaningful because while I'm walking across the stage for two, I'm really, I'm almost done. I'm really walking for many and much more. I'm walking for my amazing parents who built the foundation I stand on, for my two brothers who have been my first community and lifelong supporters, and my encouraging partner, the soon-to-be daddy of our child, who has believed in me through every late night and every moment of doubt. I'm also walking for the mentors and colleagues who poured into me, challenged me, and reminded me of who I am becoming. My family and friends, new and old, who have learned with me, pushed me, and watched me grow. I'm deeply grateful for the faculty who challenged me and supported me, for my classmates who brought brilliance, honesty, and support into every conversation, and for the communities I serve who continue to show me what meaningful change looks like in practice. Today doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a widening of possibility, responsibility, and hope. Thank you for being part of this journey. Congratulations to all my fellow graduates. May we continue to accomplish great things.
Buki, Al, please come on up. One moment. Yep, that'll work.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Philippians 4:13. This verse carried me through the, oh my gosh, why am I crying? The verse carried me through the intense MA ODL year. Dr. AP had us create a tagline at the beginning of our program. Mine was, I am capable. And Mike reminded me today that I also said I can do hard things, which was, I can do hard or difficult things, which was one of the things that was said today as well. And throughout that program, and along with the verse that I quoted, the tagline sustained me through late study nights after a full day of work and putting my 6-year-old and 3-year-old twins to bed. But this degree was not just about my own capabilities. It was about the community that journeyed with me and held me up throughout the year. My husband, Jake, who encouraged me and took the kids out of town on multiple occasions to give mommy time to finish that paper. My kids, Timmy, Tosi, and Tiara, were as patient as toddlers can be when I rushed them through bedtime so I could get to my homework. My team at BC Ferries, who supported and encouraged me to apply what I'd learned in class to the systems, programs, and cultures we were building on the daily basis as a people in OD team. And Pop 12, 3/4 of us are here today. Our small and mighty family of 4, Mike, Dana, Sarah, who pushed each other to excellence and also knew when to encourage each other to embrace progress over perfection. Hence our name, Pop 12, Progress Over Perfection, cohort number 12. We gave grace, embracing vulnerability, and challenging and supporting each other every step of the way. And to our professors, Dr. AP, Dr. MJ, Dr. Michael, Trevor, and Jared, thank you for sewing into us and setting us up for success as scholar practitioners. This is for all of you and everybody that I've mentioned there, and I'm so grateful to God for bringing me through this. Thank you all.
Mike Ottenweiler and family.
Not official until it's on correctly. Oh. Shoot. That was mean. Okay. Now you guys. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, fellow graduates. Just a few short words, and I've got 3 little boys that I want to come up because they were a huge part of this journey as well. As I was jotting down some notes of things that I wanted to share, all of the subject lines started with F, and thankfully that didn't reflect my grades in the master's program, but I thought that was strange at first. So family, faith, federal, fun, and fielding. Those are my 5 Fs, and I'll circle back to family. But faith was, as Buki attested to, was a huge journey for many of us, and I feel like I grew significantly in my faith this year, was challenged on many fronts, had such a beautiful cohort to work through many issues with, and obviously this year has been challenging for a lot of reasons, and so it was a great experience to get to work through that and grow in that regard, and I get to bring that back to my community and our church back home. Federal, I made a comment yesterday in our informal celebration that I'm a federal employee, and it has been a tough year. But what I take so much from this program is the ways that I can come back into that arena and into my agency and bring hope and bring progress and bring light back into those places, because as we heard this morning, those things are needed, and I want to apply the skills from this program to make the federal side of things better. Fun was something that we had in our cohort. As you heard from Buki, what our name was Pop 12, Progress Over Perfection. And we missed Sarah being here, but the 4 of us had so much fun. They remember the day where I put on an Italian beret and tried my best Italian accent to act a character in our group on Zoom. Buki often referred to me as being extra, and we just had a ton of fun. And that was really important to all 4 of us and to our professors. And then fielding. I started a master's program with a different organization, different university, and I pivoted to fielding very quickly and found a home here, and I loved it. The professors were all wonderful. They challenged us when we needed to be challenged, and they supported us when we needed to be supported. And the scholar practitioner was so incremental, because every time we learned something, we were turning around and applying it in our lives the next day. And finally, family. My wife refused to come up, so she gets to sit in the back. But these 3 sacrificed a lot. As we all know, our families are huge support systems behind us, and so I wanted them to come up, because for the year where they had to hear no a lot, I'm looking forward to this year being a year of a lot more yeses. Thank you. Congratulations to everybody.
Thank you. We'll move now to the PhD degrees. So we will do those alphabetically, but by degree. We'll start with the PhD in human development. Dr. Annabelle Nelson is the first faculty who will come forward. And again, if you have your programs and you see yourself in the first few, come on up and queue up for your moment. Annabelle.
I'm looking for Kim. Kim, where are you? Right here. Oh, there you are. I guess I'm a little short-sighted. Kim, a chorus. There we go. We did that. That was going to be a challenge.
We did it.
We did it.
Thank
So when I think about Kim, I think about entrepreneurship and intellect. And she's taken her intellect and her desire and capability of building programs to create a group coaching, 3 sessions for those in hardship, to move from looking at life in difficulty to looking in life as growth and finding positive people to help them. Congratulations, Dr. Kimberly Acuris. Did I say her name?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. We made it. This was a long time coming for me. I made it through COVID. I made it through my mother passing, my mother-in-law also passing, and here I am today, a proud graduate. Through it all, my fierce cheerleaders have stood fast. My husband, my family, many of whom are here today, my friends also here, and the paradigm shifters. They helped me when I was ready to fall down. I had 3 committee chairs. Thank you, Connie, Patrice, and especially Annabelle. And 2 complete committees. Thank you for your guidance and patience. My dissertation work focused on well-being coaching for people who had experienced a hardship. And I found that by applying the principles of basic psychological need theory, their well-being increased. My participants went from coping to showing real growth. This work was the impetus for our new nonprofit, Be Kind Coaching Org, that brings coaching to underserved communities post-crisis for healing and growth. Thank you, Jean-Pierre, I don't know if he's here, for the opportunity to co-edit our transformational coaching book with the Fielding University Press. That was an amazing experience. Stay tuned for my exciting Be Kind Coaching certification course as part of my ISI fellowship project. All of this has been possible through Fielding and the excellent education I have received here. Thank you so very much. Congratulations to all the graduates, and good luck on your future endeavors.
It's my pleasure to introduce Denise Ziebach. Dr. Ziebach did her research on women flourishing in Latin American corporations. She went beyond barriers to success, what supported success, and actually reached for a bigger vision of what supported women's flourishing, and looked at what they learned along the way so that we can support other women to flourish similarly. And Denise exemplifies, and I would say exudes, holistic transformative flourishing. Congratulations, Dr. Zibak.
Thank you. It all looks like so high for me. Okay. Flourishing is a learning path, and that was it for me at Fielding. It begins with breaking points. It follows with taking action, speaking up, navigating relational tensions, while embracing those relationships that help us along the way, like many of you here. My time at Fielding was a journey to learning to flourish. One of those relationships for me was a dear friend, Nia. We started together 25 years ago in the corporate world, and we were dreaming big. Suddenly, while I was deep in my PhD, she was gone, taken by cancer in less than a year, and I couldn't save her. I wish I could. But I could turn grief into purpose to help others not only survive, but flourish. And I didn't do it alone. I had helpers along the way, fairy godmothers and fathers, to my committee, Abigail, Annabelle, Jose, Patrice, and Shanna. Thank you for shaping my voice with rigor and kindness. To Edith and Sarah, thank you for your honesty and laughter in the face of mental and emotional storms. To my family, Roman, Valen, Sophie, and Juanfran, you carried me through doubts and breakthroughs with love and Argentinian barbecues. You need to feed the soul and the tummy. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Whoops, sorry, Fielding. I never left you. I will continue at Fielding as a fellow for the Institute for Social Innovation, committed to research and publishing that advances flourishing. This is the beginning of a new phase for flourishing. Let's do this together. Thank you. Gracias totales.
Astrid Eberhardt Emont. Oh my goodness, come here. I was humbled, excited, and inspired by Astrid Eberhard Emont's deep inquiry into how nature-based adventures can support personal transformation for women who have lived through significant medical, emotional, or other life hardships, activating key mechanisms of change. Ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, dear colleagues, and community, please join me in welcoming to the community of scholar practitioners, Dr. Astrid Eberhard Emont.
Wow, okay, I'm gonna take a second and just take this in. Whew. This is crazy, it feels surreal. When I was a little girl, my parents told me, you can be anything you want. I don't think any of us imagined that I'd become a PhD. Let's just say I was not the most studious of all children. But here I am, immigrant, a first-generation college student, and a woman living with a brain tumor. And all of those experiences, they kind of flowed into my curiosities about uncertainty, challenge, overcoming, and transformation. And those then eventually led me to this beautiful Fielding community. And there I got to then combine this love of nature and being outdoors with this curiosity. And I got to study and explore how being outdoors in nature and adventuring in nature can support transformation for women who have really suffered some life hardships. And what I've learned through all of this is when we have the courage to step into that moment of our own adventure and live that out, then real transformation and deep transformation is possible. And so with that, thank you very much to everyone who has been part of my academic adventure, which was another great adventure. And I'm grateful to all of them. I guess I don't have the time to say thank you to everyone. So to my committee, Dr. Wills, thank you. Thank you so much. And then my family, my husband, my parents, I love you. Ich hab euch lieb. Thank you.
Julie Hammer, unfortunately, was not able to come, so we send her congratulations.
Rachel Hudson. Rachel is the quintessential executive coach. Her research helps us understand how others experience the coaching experience as well as what's effective in that. It's really my pleasure to introduce Dr. Rachel Hudson.
Get these notes in order. Change the world, start with yours. Well, we sure changed our worlds by embarking on our journeys to becoming PhDs. Thank you to Mike, Patrice, Dorothy, Annabelle, and all of the faculty who guided me, challenged me, and helped to shape and refine my journey. Thank you to Catherine. You are the rock star. Thank you to my friends, colleagues, classmates. I'm grateful for the community that we have created. Thank you to my family, my parents, my siblings. I'm going to keep this as short as possible. And my guys, Ed, my husband, I love you so much. Thank you for your support. My boys, James and Leo, Mommy did it. Mommy did it. We are scholar practitioners. And as President Bennett stated, thinkers who act. As we continue our journeys, be curious, be bold, be better than yesterday. Thank you so much.
Dr. Sarah Kitonsa. This is the most challenging moment. I got it right. This way. Sarah's dissertation highlights the complex interplay of personal, social, and institutional factors to help guide professional women immigrants from East Africa, a journey that she herself traversed and knows well the challenges involved. I found it to be a model of how to conduct, analyze, with great sensitivity, very moving interviews, and I will honestly say in my many years of doing this, it is really one of the most detailed ethnographies that I have ever read. It is a beautiful piece of work. Welcome, Sarah, to the community of scholar practitioners.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm not going to talk about my research, but maybe the findings of an incidental study that I came across. So if you have known me for a number of years since I moved to the United States, I grew up in Uganda, and I always tell people, if I had grown up in the United States, I would be on 30 mental health medications. And mental health is real in my family, so I know that. But when I was writing my dissertation, I came across an incidental, accidental research interest. And I discovered that the distance between doctoral blues and mental health is that thin. As I trudged through the process, a few friends suggested to me, maybe you could benefit from an ADD assessment. And my brother, my younger brother, who is a doctor as well, told me, duh, do you need anyone to tell you that you have ADD? I'm like, okay, I'll try. The day that I defended my research is the day that I did the ADD assessment. And guess what? The results. It was negative. Negative for ADD. So then I started, and my dissertation chair, I shared with him that I was going to take the test, and he's like, nah, I've seen them, but you're not one of them. I'm like, okay, but I still did it. And so what did I find? Dr. Annabelle Nelson always encouraged me to find what surprised you in your research. And this is what surprised me. Maybe menopause and doctoral blues are this closely associated, the symptoms. And maybe then I wouldn't have spent that much on doing an ADD assessment if I had paid attention to life cycles. And I did learn from my research participants that life cycles are very important in the lives of women, immigrants, or any kind of woman crossing borders, because we factor in the places we are at, we factor in the people we are in relationship with, we factor in the times of our lives. And so then that brings me to the question, the ultimate question of my study, which I wasn't asking, was what's the right time for a woman to do a PhD? And if no one has researched it, there you go. That's a question for future research. Thank you so much to my committee, to my family, and some of them were asking, they were wondering why I needed another degree. Well, I'm a scholar, storyteller. I want to tell the stories of women, immigrant women, who are in the, in the shadows and who can't tell their stories, because we need a better world than what we have right now. Thank you.
Dr. Lucia Cagliusi. Home, oh, there's shoes here too. So I'm going to do this a little differently. Just come.
Okay. No. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. No. Lucy, Kalispera.
Oh, Kalispera.
Efaristo, thank you so much for providing, through your work, such rich insights into the various ways we present ourselves and think about what's real and what is not, through our online postures and our online front stage and backstage conversations. You almost make me want to have a Facebook account, but that's not going to happen. but I look forward to your continuing your work in the future and offering even greater insights into how we experience the worlds that we inhabit. My friends, please welcome to our community of scholars and practitioners, Dr. Lucia Kaliusi.
Thank you. Thank you, Evcharisto, Fred. Dear Fielding community and guests, I'm deeply humbled and honored to stand here before you today. I traveled here from Greece with my son Alexandros and my older son Stefanos, who didn't want to come up, and my husband Ted, where we live in Greece and where the 5-year journey and where I embarked on this 5-year PhD journey to achieve this lifelong dream. A journey filled often with self-doubt, personal challenges, and imposter syndrome creeping around every corner. But it was also a journey filled with connection, discovery, inspiration, personal growth, and transformation. As a lifelong learner, I want to express my deep gratitude to Fielding Graduate University for providing the opportunity that allowed me to become the scholar practitioner I am today. My heartfelt thanks goes to my mentor and chair, Dr. Valerie Benz, who couldn't be here today, but she's here in spirit, who inspired me to fall in love with phenomenology, and to my committee chair, to Dr. Fred Steyer, Dr. Annabelle Nelson, Dr. Carol Estrada, and Dr. Michael Barber. Thank you for your guidance and your wisdom, for challenging me, and your belief in me. To my husband Ted and my sons, Stefanos and Alexandros, you are the heart of this accomplishment. You witnessed me staying up way past your bedtimes when I had to take classes often at 2 a.m. or midnight due to the time difference, and the endless nights that turned into mornings, many times waking up and still finding me at the exact same spot you had left me the night before. Thank you for singing cheery songs and making them up to keep me going. Your love carried me. To my brother and my dear friends, my chosen siblings, thank you for lifting me up every step of the way. This milestone, however, wouldn't have been possible without the spirit of the generations before me. Specifically, my parents, who were born in a region of Greece during World War II, which was repeatedly ravaged. They never had the chance to earn a degree or even finish high school. Yet, through resilience and determination and a lot of sacrifice, they rose from the ashes and created possibilities for me to stand on. Today, I stand here as the first and only one in my family out of 21 first cousins to have earned a PhD, and out of 3 who've ever earned any university degree. I may stand here alone, but it is their spirit and resilience that is in every step that brought me here. And it is this long and transformational journey that brings me to the Greek poet Konstantin Kavafi, who wrote the poem Ithaca, or Ithaki in Greek. And he reminds us that the true meaning of any destination lies in the journey that shapes us. And he writes, as you set out for Ithaca, hope your road is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. Keep Ithaca always in your mind, but do not hurry the journey at all. Wise as you will have become, full of experience, you will have understood by then what these Ithacas mean. This PhD has been my Ithaca, and today with a full heart, I celebrate this moment with all of you. I thank God above all, and thank everyone at Fielding for the amazing experience. Congratulations to us all.
So through the magic of the alphabet, I have the honor of doing 2 in a row. Dr. Tracy Lefebvre. Okay, so you get to turn around, and I'll put it on. And thank you for getting.
Iris is a true Iron mom, a mother who competed in the grueling, iconic Ironman triathlon while working a demanding job, raising a family, and then getting a PhD, which I think she can assure you is more grueling than any Ironman triathlon. At Fielding, her research led her to create what she calls in her dissertation, Enduring the Tension, a grit-guilt model for Iron moms, which I highly recommend for all Fielding doctoral students. As guidance, it is truly a brilliant dissertation, and I know where you're going next, which is also amazing, Iris.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And welcome to the community of scholar practitioners. I forgot to put, it's always something. I got it right this time. We will now go through this one more time.
Thank you. I just want to say that this is heavier than a wetsuit. You know, when you write a dissertation, you have different chapters and you think about your argument. And I was thinking a lot about how I'm going to run through this speech. And I kept coming back to chapter number 1. And this is my husband, Alad. So before I say anything, I wanted to say thank you, Alad, for making it possible. Your love, your steadiness, your belief in me are the reasons why I'm here today. You encouraged me when I doubted myself, and I do that a lot. You gave me space to grow, and you held the family in such grace so I could chase this dream. So you are the foundation for this entire story, and I'm profoundly grateful. It might surprise you, I think about myself as a strong and brave woman. I was terrified to start this journey. And I dreamt about it for many years, but I kept telling myself that I can't have the space and take the money and the resources from the family to pursue this dream if I don't even know what I want to study. And so I kept telling this to my story, and I waited for clarity and waiting for permission. And then what finally moved me was realizing that I just needed to do what I'm telling my boys. I have 4 boys. And that is, just try. Maybe you'll succeed. So I just tried. And I'm so grateful that I did, because this journey changed me. It changed the way I think and the way I listen and the way I make sense of people and situations. I learned to stay with ideas long enough for them to stretch me, challenge me, and expand the way I understand the world. This is actually my 3rd attempt at PhD. No wonder why I studied grit, which is passion and perseverance for long-term goal. The first time was when I came to the United States with my husband to study, and I just knocked at the door of the head of the Department of Psychology at the University of Rochester and said, I arrived. Can I come sit in the PhD classes and just listen? And I think he was so shocked that he said, okay. And that opened the door for me to be a research assistant and then a student, but we had to relocate. So I went to do another master's, and then the dream was there. So when my older boys were in 2 and 4, they're now 26 and 24, I came to Fielding. I don't know if any of you know that. Charlie Seashore was my mentor. And for 1 semester I lasted, and then I had to quit. The faces of my kids were more important than the textbooks. And I was very disappointed in myself, but I said, this is not your time. Your time will come. That was my mantra. Your time will come. And I waited, and I waited, and my time came. I want to say that I didn't do it to prove anything for my boys. I didn't want them to look at me as a role model and say, oh, you can do hard things, you need to finish what you started. I actually was inspired by my boys throughout this journey. I learned to code with seriousness, like my oldest one, Ron. Hi, Ron. I learned to fly high, like my soon-to-be pilot, son Amit. Hi, Amit. They're all online watching. I learned to wrestle with tough ideas like my wrestler boy. Hi, Nadav. And I learned to improvise like my little guy, Tommy. Where are you, buddy? Come here. He's a jazz player. This is my jazz player who improvises. I learned how to improvise. And those boys inspired me to keep coming back and do things again and again, even when they were hard. I want to thank the fielding community for shaping this journey. My dissertation chair, Rich, half of our meetings were talking about cycling and nutrition and Strava, and then we went to business, so that was a lot of fun. Thank you for that. And the committee members, Patrice, thank you. Annabelle, I'm coming to you. Thank you for guiding me. You brought so much clarity and precision to my big and confusing ideas, because I like a lot at once. And you helped me move forward as a scholar practitioner, and your guidance truly mattered. So when people ask me, why did I study motherhood, triathlon, and grit? The answer is very simple. I studied my lived experience. This degree is not just something that I earned, it's something that I grew from my deepest parts of my life, so it means a lot to me. And I have deep respect for every one of you. I always say that you guys are tougher than Ironman. Trust me when I say that. Doing a PhD is harder than an Ironman. And so for all of you, I have the deep respect for every one of you here. We carried our hopes and our fears, and we stayed with them. That is grit, and that's what makes this moment so meaningful. Congratulations to all of us.
Dr. Constance Hollingsworth Pierce. I am deeply honored to present Constance Hollingsworth Pierce to all of you. Yeah. Her outstanding work affirms Black married mothers as agents of care, strength, and transformation, while challenging deficit-based narratives that obscure their depth and capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, and colleagues, please welcome to the Academy of Scholar Practitioners, Dr. Constance Hollingsworth Pierce.
Today, my heart is full. This moment is the result of faith, perseverance, and the steady love that has carried me every step of the way. I thank God, my daughter Grace, whose light pushes me forward. I thank my husband Travis, who stood with me even on the days when I questioned my own strength. I thank my parents, whose example of service and commitment shaped my entire path. I thank my sister, who helped me through every season. And I honor my brother, whose presence is still felt. I thank my family, my friends, my mentors, my sorority sisters, and my committee, who believed in both the work and the woman behind the work. This extra long journey taught me something I will never forget. Everyone entrusted with your growth does not always honor your heart. But this journey also taught me to look for people who see you clearly and stand with you with intention. I found that in Dr. David Blake, Dr. Annabelle Nelson, and Dr. Jennifer Bacon. Their wisdom, their patience, and their belief in me shaped my voice and my scholarship. They did not just guide me, they protected my purpose. My research centered the resilience of Black married mothers, women who carry families, careers, communities, and calling all at once. Through their stories, I learned that resilience is not silent suffering. It is rest, honesty, courage, and deep compassion for yourself. The graceful Black mother framework honors the truth that strength does not require self-abandonment. It requires compassion for yourself, clarity in your steps, and confidence in your voice. So when I stand here today, I stand for every woman who ever fought for her dreams after putting everyone else first. I stand for every mother who wiped tears with one hand and held on to her purpose with the other. We are proof that purpose is stronger than pain. We are proof that hope can survive any season. We are proof that our stories are sacred and worthy of being studied, honored, and uplifted. As we leave this moment, may we walk with courage, lead with clarity, and serve with love. And may our lives remind the world that when grace meets strength, when faith meets purpose, and when voice meets truth, there is no limit to the light we can bring. In the words of Maya Angelou, continue. Thank you.
Dr. William Clayton Pineda. So it's with great pleasure that I present William Clayton Pineda and his important scholarship on framing responsibility for polling closures, an ethnographic content analysis. William's thoughtful work is impressive in its depth and breadth intellectually. Please join me in welcoming to the community of scholar practitioners, Dr. William Clayton Pineda.
I'm super impressed with the people who brought their kids up here. My kids would tear this stage down. My PhD journey started like most epic adventures, a little bumpy. But then I found a rhythm in the ebb and flow of the journey. In any epic adventure, things happen, what my kids would call side quests. I could see the finish line, but had to look down to make sure I still had my footing. Sometimes I had to sit down, pause, and find the flow again. Luckily, this wasn't a single-player experience for me. At the beginning, when things got bumpy, Dr. Dorothy Agar-Gupta and Dr. Abigail Lanham helped smooth out a bumpy start and showed me a path back to solid ground. They showed compassion and understanding when I needed to pause. My dissertation committee, thank you for keeping your eyes on the finish line when I needed to look down. Dr. Willis, you embody the term chair. You provided a space for me to sit with my thoughts. Thank you for somehow instinctively knowing when I was ready to stand again. To my family, who stayed in the ebb and flow with me. Deacon, thank you for exemplifying strength and courage through your kindness. Andres, I wouldn't have been able to survive this without our breaks for a trip to the park, baking sessions, or Bluey marathons. My mother-in-law, Rosa, thank you for celebrating the smallest wins and always making it possible or impossible to doubt myself because you never do. And thank you for passing those qualities on to your son. Finally, to my husband, the original Dr. Pineda in our house. I'm number 2. The Luigi to my Mario, which is strange because his name is Mario. Thank you for being my ally day in and day out, never wavering, my lifelong companion and supporter. It'd be unmanageable to complete this journey and not have you by my side. Thank you.
Dr. Janea Corinne Terrell. Yes. Janea's important work titled, this is a great title, Mom, Me, and the Village, a single black mother's exploration of social capital, revealed scholarship of a carefully investigated story that has until now been invisible. She sought to unpack and understand systems of oppression that affect a specific group of black women advancement professionals, an elite, predominantly white institution. So we thank you, Janaea, for all of your wonderful work with Head Start. Oh my goodness, this is really incredible. And we welcome you to the community of scholar practitioners. Dr. Janaea Corinne Terrell. Wonderful work.
My feet hurt, guys, but I put my shoes back on. So I looked at the paper and it said 1 to 2 minutes, and I'm like, they didn't know that I got gift the gab in high school. But I'm gonna keep it to 1 to 2 minutes. So I want to first thank God. Throughout my journey in life, I've found many faces of God and how merciful He is, and I would not be here without Him. Next, I want to thank my mom. She's a mom. And my 2 sons, one cannot be here today because he has some business on the football field going to the championship in South Jersey, so let's hope we win. But my oldest son is here in Zion, Isaiah Terrell, and I'm so proud of him. He started his journey in college this semester. I don't know how he's feeling about it, but I support whatever he does. I want to thank the rest of my family, my friend who drove us 9 hours, 9 long hours. I want to thank my whole family, friends, my community, my church family, my friends, everyone who listened to every single cry and said, I can't do this. I think some of the graduates here gave us some grace. Chapter 2 is probably the hardest chapter. It challenged our own existence, but we made it through. And I think I got everybody, my job, my company, Head Start. I hope I got everybody. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But most of all, Fielding. I brag about Fielding. No school is perfect. I transferred to 2 different schools before I got to Fielding. No school is perfect. The money's not perfect. The curriculum might not be perfect. The professors are not perfect. But Fielding, from someone who has ADHD, who started out as a welfare mother 20 years ago. On paper, it looked like, yeah, she's not gonna be nothing. And this is where I talk about God, how good He is. Because on paper, 20 years ago, I was a single black mother on welfare. And now I've had like several promotions. I don't want any more, it's too much responsibility. But I'm a director of operations at Head Start. Yes. I'm a doctor.
Yeah. Dr. Janaea.
I love this so much, I'm in the coaching program. I know. But my story turned around because I had a fire and desire in my heart, and Fielding was able to meet me there. They made it possible. And I'm not saying they push you through. A lot of the graduates here will tell you that they will return back a paper and tell you, no, try again. And in my comps, I probably had to rewrite that about 3 or 4 times. And so, but they do that because they want you to put your best work out there and to perfect yourself, and almost perfection. And so most of my professors returned all my papers. I'm a better talker than I am a writer. And so I appreciate them for it. It wasn't to be punitive or mean, it was to grow you and bring out a diamond, and so I appreciate it. My committee, David, Annabelle, Earl, Candace, and Dr. Shand, thank you for all your support, all of your patience with me. David is a gentle soul. If you know him, he's so patient, he's so kind, he's so smart, he has tons of stories. I just heard another one today. And so I'm thankful for his patience with me because I am a sensitive soul. And he was just, I don't know, he was what I needed to get through the program. And so thank you, Fielding. Thank you, Catherine. I emailed her more than I text my kids. And so, and financial aid if you're here, thank you. And so I appreciate just having this opportunity and just taking this little girl 20 years ago and making her dream come true. And I promise I won't let you guys down. Boots on the ground after this, and we're going to be change agents. Thank you, guys.
like that, boots on the ground. Myra Valdez. I think we need training for faculty on hooding. I'm going to work on that. Well, when I think about Myra, number one, I think about strength. It's not only external strength, what she can accomplish in the world professionally and personally, but it's internal strength. And I also think of Myra being a very graceful person, and she has inner grace as well. And she took her own life story to study it in terms of having hardship as a teen and learning to flourish through it. So her study on Latinas who experienced trauma in childhood and how they turned it around to flourish is a lesson for all of us. Congratulations, Dr. Myra Valdez.
Thank you, love you. All right. Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. When I began my dissertation journey, I thought I would study workplace well-being, and this was drawing from my career in healthcare leadership. But early in the program, I felt called toward a more personal story, a story about identity, trauma, healing, and flourishing. Recognizing how common adversity is, especially in communities facing poverty, racism, and historical trauma, I shifted my research to explore how Latinas who experience childhood trauma not only heal, but truly flourish. This shift required courage. It meant revisiting my own past, years of instability, financial hardship, and the responsibilities of being a first-generation child of Puerto Rican and Dominican parents. At 16, alone in a new state with a newborn baby, I faced the darkest times of my life. I was scared and stereotyped. Another teen mom, another Latina dropout. But support changed my trajectory. A crisis center that offered kindness, a woman who cared for my child so that I could work and go to school and build stability. With those acts of generosity, I began to thrive. In my research, I heard stories that echoed my own. Latinas who endured childhood trauma described pain, but they also described purpose. They spoke of cultural strength, faith, gratitude, and perseverance, values that transformed adversity into resilience. Their stories affirmed what I lived. Flourishing is possible and healing is both personal and communal. Today, I stand here with multiple degrees, a coaching certificate, and a meaningful career, and a life grounded in love and stability. My story is one of resilience, but it is not unique. Many Latinas who grow into extraordinary strength when supported by community, culture, and connection. Still, not everyone has equal access to healing, and each journey is deeply personal. As I stand here today, I honor my younger self, my family, my culture, and every Latina whose story remains unheard. This degree represents not only academic achievement, but the power of perseverance and the truth that our past does not define our future. Thank you to all who supported me. Annabelle Nelson, thank you so much for all your encouragement and your patience with me. Dr. Bacon, Dr. Pontiano, all of the faculty, Catherine, my family, my kids, Lorenzo, Layla, Gwendolyn, and all of my friends and colleagues. And congratulations to my fellow graduates. May we continue to learn, to grow, heal, and lift others as we rise.
that completes the PhD in human development. And I'm wondering if you maybe want a quick stretch break before we move into the final degree, which is the PhD in ODC. Would you like to have just a very quick move around, just a moment? Just a quick moment. All right. Hope you're stretched a bit. We'd love to come back together. All right, my friends, we're going to reconvene. And we're moving on now. I was a very bad move. Take your seats again, please. We're going to start again. It was a very bad move. It was a very bad move. Thank you so much for taking your seats. We have graduates yet to be honored. While I'm up, I will say that 2 on our list for the ODC were not able to be here today, Prima Patri and Chantel Sorachuk. We send them congratulations. And I now hand it over to Dr. Applebaum, who will come up and introduce our first graduate for the PhD in Organization Development and Change.
Dr. Derek Anthony. And this time I will hood him first. I suspect that Derek may be the only person in the intelligence community ever to use microaggression theory to explain why the CIA has failed to reach its minority promotion benchmarks. A taste of social justice. Derek, your excellent research is more than timely. Now more than ever, it is needed everywhere, including in intelligence. Thank you for your excellent work and your perseverance. We've had so many meetings with you in a car somewhere in some remote parking lot, right? So it was an experience. Derek, congratulations.
Thank you.
And welcome to the Community Scholar Practitioners.
So to empty the room, that was by design. No, seriously. But on a more serious note, could I have everyone cut their cell phones off for a minute? I'm joking. Like Dr. Applebaum said, it's been an experience. Treading some light waters to get to this point over time. Like you said, a lot of our meetings were me sitting in my car in the middle somewhere, having a Zoom meeting, making sure he couldn't see what's in the background, et cetera, and he'd always ask me, are you going to be able to publish your dissertation? And we got near the end, and I got an email. And we worked through it, and that is, and I really didn't say too much to Dr. Applebaum or the committee, but I did get an email, and they reminded me that they were paying for part of my dissertation, and although I might own the dissertation, they own the data. So chapter 4, at any time, if they decide they want to, they could withdraw it, but I assume they will not, because there's no dissertation without research. But I do thank Dr. Applebaum and my committee for working with me through all these times so that we can get here, that allowed me to stand here today. So with that saying, I hope I make it through this because I'm not used to talking in the public. That's not what we do. I usually just listen to people. So today marks a milestone of a long journey defined by curiosity, tested dedication, late nights, early mornings and long days, but most importantly, it's defined by the support that surrounded everything to get me to here today. So to my family, thank you for the sacrifice, the check-ins, and the unwavering belief that I could reach this point, even when I questioned if I could. And thank you for listening to all the times where I was talking about microaggression and things that you seemed to be more interested in than I was, so that you could motivate me to continue. And to my committee, I am profoundly grateful for your guidance, the high expectations, and your willingness to challenge my thoughts, my thinkings, and my paradigms. You have shaped not only my research, but you've shaped the lens of which I will go forward and look at the world. Throughout my doctoral journey, I've learned that we live in an ecosystem that social, technological, and environmental interplay is dynamic and constantly changing. It is not something that stays stagnant. It moves constantly through every interaction we have with people around us and the world around us. My research has taught me that social dynamics are not abstract theories. They are living experiences that influence how people adapt and how social systems evolve and continue to evolve. However, in this landscape, knowledge alone isn't enough. We need the ability to listen deeply, to interpret complexity, and to recognize the human stories that drive change around us. Fielding is a catalyst for such cognitive exploration, moving knowledge and humanity forward together. Today, I am proud not only of the degree itself, but my community that made it possible, my village. Again, to my family, my committee, and the Fielding family, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for walking beside me. Thank you.
So, Dr. Adriana Bokelherde, welcome. Let's see if we can do this right.
can do this, yes.
Yeah. So I need the top part. There we go. Close enough? There we go. Okay. Your son can fix it later. So I do this a little differently. So Adriana, thank you so much this is a Fielding Global session, and for emphasizing the global aspect of that and making clear the importance of we in a global setting. And thank you also for enriching our understanding of the diversity of ways in which diversity is understood, and how the term person of color might mean different things in different global settings, while still holding on to the dignity of what it means to be a person. Thank you. My friends, join me in welcoming Dr. Adriana Bokelherde to our community of scholar practitioners. I'm going to go down, so you stay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. Standing here today as a PhD graduate is a moment I've dreamed about for a long time. The journey took for me 5 years, with stops, starts, pauses, and restarts. Every step taught me resilience, purpose, and the power in believing in something bigger than a single moment. And I wanted to begin with gratitude. To my husband, thank you for your unconditional love and support. You carried me through the moments when I didn't think I had anything left to give. Since you already have your own PhD, you certainly weren't looking into earning another one by proxy. But this accomplishment but this is as much yours as is mine. And thank you for pretending to understand why I cared so much about my dissertation topic. To my children, Julia and Louisa, thank you for your patience, for forgiving the times I wasn't there as present, and for cheering me on anyway. Your pride in me means more than any title. To my parents and my brother watching me in Brazil, muito obrigada. You taught me the value of education, perseverance, and not to find problems, but solutions. To Fred, my dissertation chair, thank you for meeting me where I was on my journey and never making me feel I was a burden. I'm very grateful for your support and patience with all my endless questions about the dissertation process. To Allison, which I know couldn't be here today, my faculty reader and advisor, I'm so grateful for your encouragement when the world took a sharp turn earlier in the year and my dissertation topic became a political one overnight. I will never forget your wise words. This degree is more than an academic achievement for me. It's a symbol of persistence, courage, and the willingness to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow, uncertain, or simply when life happens. And there is one thing this PhD journey has taught me. It's that patience, caffeine, a lot of snacks, and a little stubbornness can take you further than you ever imagined. And in closing, I want to turn to the two people that inspire me every single day, my strong and beautiful girls. As you begin your own academic journeys, remember that even when life requires pauses, turns, or presents unexpected mountains, the path is still yours and absolutely worth continuing. And always remember, whatever life brings your way, your education, the knowledge you earn is yours forever. They will carry you, they will shape you, and no one can ever take it away from you. Thank you.
I need to share with you that I asked our next graduate to practice this ceremony with his wife before he came up here, and you'll see why in a moment. It is a great honor to introduce to you Dr. Dwayne Brown. He is also a marathon runner who has run, I think, in every single state in the U.S. Is that correct? That's right. It really is an honor to introduce to you the gentleman next to me. I know someone mentioned about meeting people in cars. We had more Zoom meetings with Dr. Brown sitting in a car while his son was at baseball practice. His daughter was in ballet practice. He's a banker, an excellent banker, and his research is based on a most important social justice issue, the barriers, the terrible barriers faced by the unbanked. He also spends at least one night a year sleeping with the unhoused. And I have the greatest respect for this gentleman because throughout all of this, he's also an incredible family man. And it was so great to meet all of his family in person at this time. Dr. Dwayne Brown.
Do you mind if I take everyone to church very quickly? So, in a Baptist church, I go to Alfred Street Baptist Church in Washington, D.C., or in Virginia, we typically have a saying, God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. That's the only time I'm going to tell you. I'm going to repeat it. God is good, and all the time? Amen. So with that, I want to say thank you. Thank you to faculty leadership, fielding leadership, and especially to my incredible committee, Dr. Dorothy Gupta, Dr. Lanil Henderson, he ain't here, I know he's across the way. Dr. Fred Steer, where's Fred? We spoke baseball almost every day, and it was all typically about my son. Dr. Jamie Robb, who was my external reader, and the new Dr. Chantel Sarak, thank you so much for your guidance, your invaluable guidance. Thank you. To my friends and family watching online, thank you for your love and support and for tuning in and sharing this milestone with me. I also want to extend a special thank you to the Coalition for the Homeless and Covenant House of Washington, D.C. They are not in the room, but without their support and partnership, my research would not have been possible. My path to the stage was not a straight line. Took me 10 years to get where I'm at today. I started at a previous institution called Shenandoah. I didn't finish and found fielding through a professor at Shenandoah who then told me to apply or else I'm going to lose my credits. And I said, okay, and I'm here with you, and now I sit in front of you as a doctor. Throughout my research on the unbanked, I didn't realize it wasn't just about just interviewing. I witnessed the stark realities of financial exclusion and the incredible resilience of those trying to navigate it. This process transformed me into a true scholar practitioner. It taught me how to bridge the gap between what we learn and how we live. This degree is a testament to the resilience and also to the important issue at hand, which is the unbanked. Now time for thank yous, and of course I want to thank my wife first. You are my anchor. You did the heavy lifting while at home, everything that needed to be done while I was on the computer, trying to get through many, many papers and revisions. You keep me going. This is not just my achievement, but our achievement. As I always say, we won, right? And not me, we. This hood is for all of us. Thank you for your patience, love. Thank you so much. To my beautiful children, Blake and Elise. Yep, get off the phones, y'all. You saw me struggle, right? You know, the long nights, right, in the office, right? And I just wanted to make sure you realize that you always finish what you start. So keep it up, and hopefully you'll be up on this stage soon. Another thing I wanted to also state, and it's something very deep, to my mom who's here in the room. So for most of you that know, I'm from the Bronx, New York. My mom and my dad, I'm the only child, so obviously the limits are set so high. So to my father that passed away, my father passed away in August. He's not physically here, but I know he's watching down over me. Mom, thank you so much for your strength and unconditional love and belief. You and Dad just told me education is important. And as my dad would say, it's not Club Med. I need to go to get my college education. And so thank you so much, and I love you so much. Fielding's motto, change the world, start with yours. I intend to live that immediately. As Dr. Dorothy said, I am going to sleep out in the street tonight, right after this event, to go back and be out there and dedicate and go back to bringing awareness to youth homelessness. I am very close to my fundraising goal. So please, if you find me later, I am taking donations, and I'm almost at my goal. So please, I would like to say that. As we go forward, let us remember the words of Shirley Chisholm. Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. Change starts with us. So in the spirit of the work, in the spirit of the work ahead, now let's get to work. Thank you.
Coleman. When I think about Laurel, I think about beauty and grace. Number one, she's beautiful. Number two, she has beautiful ideas. She came up with the idea that innovation, when used in a for-profit economic way, could empower low-income communities financially. So it was innovation, and she's innovative, and I'm so happy to congratulate Dr. Laurel Coleman.
I hope I can get up. I got bad knees here.
Yeah, don't kneel.
I'll squat a little.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Got it?
Yes. First, let me start. I'm very modest. I appreciate that Annabelle said that I was beautiful, but that really has to do with the personal experience that I've had over the past years since COVID and dealing with my self-image, about myself, how I feel about my health. I am also thinking about some of the folks that started out with me, the paradigm shifters that are not here, that we lost along the way, either because of they passed on or because of their illness. I feel them, I think of them, I'm reminded of them. I'm also reminded about my mother, and I'm going to try not to cry. My mother, if you had met her, you would have known that she was a fielding person by the many things that she did with her life. She started her undergraduate work when we were children. She unfortunately never got to finish that in some degree, but she became an executive director, and she was a Head Start mama. She believed wholeheartedly in Head Start. She worked for the city. She helped start a nonprofit in the late 60s. You say, how old is this lady? But anyway, she did a lot with a little. They would ask her, how did you do things with that budget that you had? But she did it. She earned awards throughout the state of Connecticut for what she did. She also became a corporator for a hospital. And they would also say, Mrs. Silva Coleman, and I'll speak her name because my sister does that often and I need to do as well. Her name was Dorothy Silva Coleman. Her father is Cape Verdean. And my grandmother, she didn't have, unfortunately, much of an education. She only went to elementary school. But these women did many things. And I also want to just recognize family. I am so appreciative of people that have brought their children, brought their elderly. I'm working on a project that is about boomers and friends, because we're really dealing with a time where we're dealing with all generations. Somehow there's some kind of segmentation going on trying to separate us from one generation to the next. Well, I'm a boomer, and I'm over the age of 60. And I still want to do things, and I believe many of the people in this room over 60, 70, whatever, still want to do things. We have vitality that we want to do. Part of my message around doing that is that we work collectively, because fielding has one DNA. It's fielding DNA that we have. We have that experience that we've had along the way. The other thing there's a lot of messages been coming through, and I think what it's calling for us is a call to action. Okay. I was so distraught, and sometimes that's my emotive side, but it's also my strength, because I don't let anybody mess with my stuff. Okay, that's kids, that's elderly, whatever else, even in spite of my own physical things that I'm going through right now. One of the things that got me on my committee, and I'll have to say to Keith, he kept asking me this question, and somebody said, well, that's not really your question. It wasn't my question, but he went to another student, asked the same question, because he had such a need to find the answer to this question. My question ultimately started off as innovation. I took two theories. I took stakeholder and I took innovation, and I intersected those two theories. Why? Because I know a small company in Connecticut that actually relocated to Maryland as well, okay, actually to get the resources from both states, okay. But what they did is they took the technology from NASA, took that technology, which would scan the moon, to use it to adapt it to scan breast cancer, okay. But that company still is having difficulty. Why are they having difficulty? As soon as I put on the table, it was the black company, the conversation became around race. Should the conversation have still been about race? In 2025, should the conversation? No, it shouldn't, but it was. I also had, as part of this, that particular company, I was not aware, that individual had the likes of running with Bill Gates, running with some other folks, having been out in Silicon Valley. This little guy from Connecticut, okay, all these other circles, because he was a Mensa. Because he also did so many wonderful other technological things, he had that ability to adapt. So all I'm saying with everyone is the conversation that we're having now. It's a call to action. I read through those dissertations, my God, the subjects that are in there. Some of them I couldn't touch in the psych department. There's no way I could touch them. But people individually, each person here is part of our fielding team. And those people bring together the capacity to make change in our government, in our neighborhoods. We have all these different conversations going on about change, about politics is local, and it is. I'm a poli-sci major undergrad. But the best thing I think I got is I have a liberal arts background. That means I can play in business. I work for Anderson Consulting in part of my life. I work for CUNY in another part of my life. I also work for the City of New Haven as another part. And I also work for 1199 in another part. So I've been all over the place. I've been a consultant myself. All of that is to say we need everybody to come together because this is the time where we need all hands on deck. Thank you. Thank you so much. Did I forget my pen? Yeah.
It's my great honor to introduce Dr. Melissa George. Melissa did her research on how international school leaders navigate ambiguity and complexity in multicultural and intercultural contexts, and how they grow and transform as they seek to navigate that complexity. And Melissa embodies, exemplifies her research. Her capacities as a leader are so deep and so evident, and she's also now, boots on the ground, bringing those capacities and skills into her closer in family context and having such a significant impact as well. Such an honor to celebrate you, Melissa, and welcome you to the community of scholar practitioners.
Thank you. When I came to fielding, I had a burning question in my heart and mind. I was really curious about how I could, and how we could, all of us, develop better leaders, better leadership systems in the world. This journey started in Athens, Greece for me in 2020, August. Well, July actually, but it took me to Morocco soon after for a few years, and then finished up with a sabbatical year in British Columbia, Canada. And now, after the FOR was completed a year and 2 months ago, brought me back home to California and the United States after 13 long years of working in international schools overseas. I want to read to you a short poem. It's a poem that I wanted to include in my dissertation, actually, and I ran out of time at the end to find the proper ways to get permission to include it, so I'll read it for you now. But before I do want to thank my committee, Abigail, David, Fred, and Jonathan Reams in Norway, a bit of a dream team for my research topic, and also world travelers, and my mother, Joyce Hill, who's right here. Thank you, Mom. The poem is Lost by David Wagner. Stand still. The trees ahead and bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger, must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven. No two branches are the same to wren. If what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. You must let it find you. Thank you.
Idris Hollyfield. And when I think of Idris, good. When I think of Idris, I think of fun, right?
Yes, yes.
And I also think of him being community-minded with art. So his dissertation on independent coffee houses and third spaces, it wasn't just about coffee, although that was part of it. A lot of it was about how these spaces, coffee shops in particular, can be creative within the community, can bring in art and music, and can even help the employees move into a community. So congratulations, Dr. Idris Hollyfield.
Thank you, sir. So I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna get personal. My process, I called it Super Bowl 51. And I'm gonna tell a quick story. It's Super Bowl night. I got some friends, they come over, and we're watching the Atlanta Falcons play the New England Patriots. And so one of my friends looked at me and he said, "Hey man, you wanna make a bet?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "Atlanta's up." He said, $1,000. He said, $1,000 New England wins. I said, "No way." I said, I'll take that bet. We leave halftime, have a couple of beers, go to a bar, and I go home. I go to sleep. I just know the next day I got $1,000 waiting on me. I wake up and I see Tom Brady smiling, and I know it's up. And I immediately said, "Uh-oh, this is not what happened." And I get a whole bunch of text messages from my friends and some laughing faces everywhere. "Oh, you a fool, you a fool." And my friend called me and said, "Hey man, you can cash out me, Venmo, whatever you want to do. I get your beer this weekend." So the moral of that story is you can't count someone out. That was my process at Fielding. I went through a lot in this process. My beautiful wife, who I married during this process, she stuck by me. And Dr. Nelson, who every time we had a call, she was always smiling, always encouraging. She was the epitome of a third place. She was the epitome of that coffee shop. By the way, I do go to the #2 coffee shop in the United States of America. It's in Montgomery, Alabama. People, let me say something to all of y'all. Make a friend. I've traveled this world, and the thing I've noticed more than anything, evil people are friends. Good people don't know each other. So I want to leave you with that. Make a friend. Thank you.
Dr. Deborah Jackson, please come up here. Let's see if I can get this one right. I'm 2 out of 3. But
Should I kneel down a little bit?
sure, that's good. We may have, this is close enough for now. Watch your head.
All right, I think we got it, Fred.
Yeah, watch your neck, though. So, Deborah, thank you so much for shedding insight into the joy and the importance of person-centered planning, and also for coming up with ways of extending that to different contexts and helping people design their own lives.
Thank you.
Friends, please join me in welcoming Dr. Deborah Jackson to our community of scholar practitioners.
Boy, it's been a long day and a long road, and I'm so happy to be here. So as I stand here today, I am reminded that
becoming is not a moment, it is a process. And when I returned to school as an adult learner, I didn't go back to school just to earn a degree. I came back because something inside me refused to stop asking questions, as my son would, would support. She asked a lot of questions. And at Fielding, those questions, though, grew louder, sharper, and more purposeful. My dissertation, Person-Centered Planning, Exploring Successful Outcomes, challenged me to understand how need finding or needs identification leads to real transformation within individuals, families, and systems. It taught me that person-centeredness is not simply a method, it is a way of seeing and being, a way of honoring human dignity, a way of shaping systems around people rather than forcing people to fit systems. That work changed me as much as it illuminated my research. This journey was transformational, and it stretched me in every way possible. It asked me to hold complexity, to challenge assumptions, and to sit with discomfort, and to grow into someone who can do something meaningful with what she knows. I discovered that becoming a scholar is not about having all the answers, but it's about learning how to ask better questions. As I continue supporting children and youth with special health care needs, the Fielding doctoral journey has also inspired me to expand that work. And it's brought me to my next chapter, which is developing life by design. It's a person-centered approach to helping others plan their next chapters with clarity, dignity, and intention. That work weaves together andragogy, person-centered planning, and human-centered design to help adult learners clarify values, set goals, and design purposeful futures. It is my way of paying forward what I have learned here at Fielding and living the values that are at the heart of my research. So today, as I am hooded, I carry deep gratitude to my friends, family, many of whom are here today, including my DSCC work family, and to my husband, Mohammed. Thank you for encouraging me on those hard days and reminding me to celebrate the wins along the way. Thank you. Whew, sorry about that. Oh, and to my faculty mentors, my dissertation committee and my chair, Dr. Steyer, thank you for expanding my knowledge, challenging my thinking, and deepening my scholarship, and seeing possibilities in me long before I learned to see them in myself. Earning this PhD is not the end of my journey. It is a beginning of living my life's work with integrity, imagination, and purpose. I step forward, committed to paying forward what I have learned and to honoring the responsibility that comes with knowledge. Thank you all.
It's a profound joy and honor to welcome Dr. Leah Metz. Dr. Metz really lived her research. She explored post-traumatic growth and the ways that we can navigate that such that there's transformation and development. And the beauty of this and her work is that as she lived this research, she kind of opened new territory in these areas of research and practice, and will absolutely be supporting to others to realize their own dreams of taking what are and can be very difficult life circumstances and turning them into gifts for the world. Congratulations, Dr. Metz.
So,
Today feels like I'm standing in one of those liminal spaces I've spent the past years studying, a threshold between what has been and what is just beginning to emerge. My research has been rooted in a simple, profound truth that people grow in patterned, beautiful, and utterly unpredictable ways, that trauma can dismantle what we thought we knew of ourselves, that healing restores us enough to keep going, and that growth, real transformation, life-altering growth, is something deeper still. It's a reorganization of meaning, a widening of perspective, a softening into wholeness. It is not linear, not guaranteed, and never rushed. Yes, and it is possible. More possible than we often dare to believe. This journey has shown me that we flourish not in isolation, but in relationship. Relationship with one another, with the world, and with the parts of ourselves we meet along the way. We flourish when we are witnessed, when we are held, and when someone stands with us long enough to hear what is just beginning to take shape beneath the surface. In my dissertation, I dedicated my work to the trees, steadfast, patient, transforming in every season, and also those who suffer, who find themselves standing in the in-between, the place where old meaning dissolves and new roots quietly begin to take place. This degree, this moment, is a ring in my own tree, one of becoming, of unraveling and renewal, of learning to trust the wisdom that emerges when we allow ourselves to evolve. As I step forward from this threshold, my hope is simple: to continue holding space for growth, to honor the sacred mystery of human transformation, and to accompany people as they discover their own capacities in themselves that they could not yet imagine. If there is one message I hope to leave with you today, it is this, and it's been said many times: anything is quite possible, even the things you cannot yet conceptualize for yourself. Growth is unruly, surprising, and sometimes born from fracture that allows the light in. Yes, and it is real, and it is ours. I can't read my own handwriting. Here's to what we are becoming. Here's to the next threshold, and onward, always onward, with love.
I know we've all been sitting here for quite a while. It's my pleasure to introduce the last two graduates. Jan Nelson, Dr. Jan Nelson. Let's see if we can do this.
You know how to do that? I don't have to squat down.
Jan has done a number of things with some distinction. She's been a teacher, she's been an executive coach, and she has an absolute passion for compassion and compassion in higher education, which is what she wrote her dissertation about. So she now adds another distinction to her career, which is Dr. Jan. I can call you. Welcome to the community of scholar practitioners.
So if you had asked me 3 or 4 years ago if I would be excited about sampling sizes, coding, data interpretation, I'd say, are you okay? But here I stand now after having completed the dissertation research project, and I enjoyed it. I was very excited as I was doing the work. I had the opportunity to interview many academic professionals that are doing good work in the world, and it's tough stuff. And what I was looking at and examining with them were their experiences of compassion, like true action, taking care of one another, kindness, noticing that someone else had a need and then being able to serve that need. And it's a win-win-win. It's so exciting, right? It's a ripple effect. So that project's done, but I just want to know more. And so here I am, ready to geek out again on research and rigor. And all of it has a lot to do with my path here at Fielding. So I didn't have these skills or this capability when I came to Fielding. I look back at my cringy first papers, and I see that there's been a growth pattern and a growth opportunity emergent, through these years. And who I have to thank for that are the folks in this room and some that are at home. First of all, the faculty here at Fielding is amazing. I don't know how they do it, but it's that right level of push and holding standards, and yet that encouragement that comes at the same time. It's really an amazing juggling act. And I've appreciated it. Not always, but I've appreciated it in the long run. My committee has been fantastic. Lots and lots of support. The questions that they asked me made me see things deeper, more thoroughly. It expanded my ability and to ask good questions of the folks I had the privilege to interview. And I learned a lot, and I think they did as well, right? Whenever we enter a system, we become part of that system, and it's kind of a win-win influential thing. So I'm very appreciative of that. Also my peers, my colleagues, my paradigm shifter buddies. I mean, oh my gosh, right? Whenever there's a need to put it out there, hey, would you read this draft? How do I find this on the website? Whatever it might be, like instantly there for one another. So one of the things that I experienced that was such a nice balance for me was that Fielding is a compassionate university. It's a compassionate community, and that help, that extension, that true deep caring was something I was experiencing while I was studying it, and it was just so enlightening. So some of the things I learned, what did I learn? Resilience. I teach it. Boy, it's something to teach it, it's another thing to practice it, right? When you've kind of been struggling with your own academic challenges, and it's that I got to rewrite that because, boy, I just picked it up again this morning, and it's not good. Coffee's important. I've learned to drink really good coffee, and balancing that focus and the rest and self-care, which is another part of compassion, right? Self-compassion is important. So it's been just this holistic learning process for me. Finally, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about Fielding because I'm in love with Fielding and have been for many, many years. At Fielding, they really live their values. It's not a brochure word, a catchphrase. They live their values. And to me, to have that around me with everyone that I encountered throughout the entire process has been just such a huge gift. And it's a very special community and a very special place. And I'm hoping that I can continue to do more work on compassion in higher education. I came from corporate worlds, and I started to work in higher ed and academia about 15 years ago. And what I've seen is there's a wonderful opportunity because we're not in it for the money, right? We're doing it for the good work, and to be able to support each other and continue, particularly now when we have a lot of challenges, is so important. So I'm thrilled to do more. I also, want to continue to hone my skills, but I think that there's continued good work throughout the room. And also hearing everybody's work today has inspired me to get out there and do more. So I'll give myself about one more day of rest, and then I'm going to be back at it. But anyway, all in all, thank you to Keith, thank you to my committee, thank you to all of you, and thank you to Fielding. Appreciate it.
And our final graduate. I don't know anyone else who's done what Vanetta Thornton has done. So it's a great pleasure to introduce Vanetta and to talk for just a final minute about your remarkable career. First thing we need to do is to put there. Vanetta has had a distinguished career in the military, very demanding. At the same time, she has completed her doctoral program. Try that out sometime. See if you can do both those things. I'm very proud of what Panetta has done. I'm very proud to be able to say, welcome to the scholar practitioner community.
I promise I am a woman of very few words. It's an honor to be able to celebrate today with you all. Thank you. I feel this has been a long time coming. I started this journey in 2017. Through COVID, back-to-back overseas tours, as well as personal loss, there were many days that I thought I wasn't going to be able to push through. I'm forever grateful for the support and guidance from my dissertation committee. Many thanks to Dr. Steve Shapiro, Dr. Keith Melville, Dr. Melchor Hall, Dr. LaShonda Norman, and Cynthia Wilson. I also want to thank my mom and dad who couldn't be here today. I'm also thankful for my friends who listened to me complain and continue to encourage me. Last, but definitely not least, I want to thank the Most High. Without the strong support system I've had, I would not be standing before you all today. I'm also happy for all the graduates here as well. I'm looking forward to what the future holds for all of us. Thank you very much.
We did it. I'm going to ask you, help me one more time. The graduates. Graduates, as you leave here, I will say only this: you leave with our respect, our admiration, and our love. Congratulations, everyone. Go celebrate.